Hey guys, if you like to party and the stock block is what you're trying to go fast on, we have a new brand for you here, Stock Block the World. Go to the link in the video and support us. It should eventually lead to t-shirts, hoodies, and other apparel. Morning guys, another Saturday here. I didn't get with you guys on Tuesday, but we did get a little bit done. This is like the most laid back Saturday we've had in a year, it feels like, when I'm actually here. Which is pretty much every Saturday. So pretty much every Saturday for almost a year was devoted to making progress on the car, even if it was just a little bit. Now there were certainly some days where things didn't happen, but nonetheless, this is actually kind of relaxing. So some things we are going to address. For one, this isn't something I'm addressing, but I made a spark plug holder Tuesday night. We had one before on the Holly intake, but of course it won't fit this one. So I just need I made a handle and I screwed up my measurements, so I got to do it again. But basically got a spot for the old plugs, new plugs, and all that cool stuff. It straddles the rails and put some little rubber there so it won't scratch the rail. I got the belly pan off. As you can see, pretty decent sized trans leak. The diaper is actually holding a lot of it. We would notice after a pull there would be some fluid in the center of the car, and it wouldn't leak out, so I'd wipe it down, but still, not good. Looks like it was coming from the tail shaft seal. Also, thanks to the guys at PSI Performance, it's Proformance by the way, I ordered a PST carbon fiber drive shaft. A lot of guys down there were telling me, just new guys who've been in the game a long time, they were like, and this happened to some local guys too, they were like, man, that thing breaks the drive shaft, even with that enclosure, it's going to total the car. They've had customers who have had them break, and even with the enclosure, once again, they've tore their legs up, arms up, and I don't have time for that. Yeah, that'd be really inconvenient. So, and at this point of the game, it always sucks to keep spending money, but whenever the car runs like it does, you can justify a little bit easier. And it'll be a little bit less weight too, so it'll help. Another thing is, got a bad oil leak. I noticed it down there. Can't really see it. I'll give you some better video whenever we get it apart. But the pressure sensor banjo fitting on the back of the valley cover is leaking pretty good. So the diaper once again hit a lot of that, and I saw it leaking down there. I wiped it down, sprayed it down, stuff like that, but definitely don't like it. So no reason not to fix it at halftime, so I'm gonna do that. Another thing I noticed the other day, I have to show you more when I get the pipe back off. The throttle blade is actually bent a little bit. Now I know you're thinking like, wow, how can that $42 throttle body blade be bent already? Well, honestly, I think what it is from our priming technique, because the priming pump, it'll work to start the car, but it will not get the air out. So I'm going to try putting the feet in a different spot. But sometimes when you're priming it, it'll, the brake cleaner method, it'll backfire a little bit. And I guess the old blade, I've never seen a blade even on a $500 throttle body that likes to backfire much. So going to probably get another throttle body and just weld another race part flange on it and keep that one as backup, because I actually cranked it up again the other night after I noticed it. And what made me look at this was I noticed the car was idling about 400 RPMs too high when I was loading up Sunday morning or Saturday morning down in Georgia, and of course still idle high when we unloaded it, I was it made me start wondering if that blade was bent, and it is, but it adjusts back down. I adjusted back down. It idles like it's supposed to now, but of course now I want to go ahead and take care of that so it doesn't fail on me. And another way to look at it, I guess, is if the blade bent, even when it goes full throttle, the air is going to be kind of hitting it kind of funny, and we're trying to go as fast as we can. So another thing is, we had the car driving left a little bit on these, mid to low 1060 foots. Well, one method, like talking to the guys at Pressurized Solutions, and they've been doing this XT75 stuff for a while, and other guys, they were like, the exhaust can definitely cause that. So we came back, and honestly, it was more Sammy. Boost is my friend on YouTube. He's helped a lot with the car, and he was over here like 10 o'clock Saturday night, and as I was unloading the trailer and everything, we had the car unloaded, and he was already sawing the exhaust, and we had a 5-inch 90 here. So now we got a bullhorn on it, so we're going to try that as well and see if that helps with not pushing the car so hard to one side. And of course, John's going to do some measurements and all that stuff as well. But that's where we're at. I'm going to start tearing this thing apart here shortly, and try to enjoy this relaxing Saturday. The banjo stuff is leaking back here. Obviously, it's a puddle, and so I'm gonna clean all this crap up, and maybe even try to route some of the harness underneath the intake manifold now since it's loose. All right. Well, it's been a few hours. I had to stop and do some customer stuff. Then I spent a while going over the different push rod sizes in the car. What I did was I played with different lengths on certain cylinders based off of how it looked like the spring compressed when I tightened it to see if it helped with cranking compression, and it did on some. So we'll see how it does at the track. If it sucks, then I'll take it apart at the track and be mad about it, and then I'll go back and put it back like it was. But that's just trying little things to get everything. We still got more in it like it is, but it's kind of like if we can make what we have already better, then why not try? Even though I know we still got more turbo on the table, So, but that's where we're at. Easy Saturday, much better than having to rebuild the car. And I get to go home, basically just kind of hanging out and wait until the carbon fiber drive shaft gets in. And then we'll see if I get this thing back to the track ASAP. So as we wait for our next track outing, I had another piece come in. As I mentioned before, thanks to the guys at PSI Performance, they got me this PST carbon drive shaft. Definitely curious to weigh the current one versus this one. Big reason we got that was if it breaks, it'll just either come unglued at one of the flanges or disintegrate, which sucks because it's a lot of money down the drain, but it's actually still less damage than if you were to have it go loose in the car, and not to mention hurt yourself. Another thing is our transmission bolts are a huge pain on the pan because we have one of those thicker cast trick flow pans. So I just got these small pan bolts here that'll actually fit, that you can use a socket on instead of having to use a wrench. But just some little things to try to make things better. If I'm able to come in tomorrow, I want to try to put that stuff on there, and that way she'll just be sitting there waiting for the next out. So we just weighed the drive shafts. The carbon one here came in at 14.2, and this one was 22 even, so roughly 8 pounds. As you can tell, well, you may not be able to with how it's set up, but the carbon one is a little bit shorter. So not a direct comparison. Was hoping to lose more weight, but it's not a big deal. This one was what, mild steel, John?
Yes. Whatever they call it, Dom.
Dom, yeah. So it was. I know it was originally for the Glide, then cut down for the 400, and then cut down again a few weeks ago when we were getting the car running. All right, as you guys can see, get the new drive shaft in. Ended up taking around 3/4 of an inch or so off the end of the yoke. It was just bottoming out inside the trans, so it wasn't going to give us the movement we needed, which we kind of already had that issue as it was. I think the trans leak we had was just me overfilling it. So I know how much to put in. Anyways, I'm going to try hydraulic fluid this time as well. going to see how that helps with the converter, because we're at the very limit of it. And really need to switch to like a 390 gear from the 410, maybe a 373, but I know it's going to load the converter too much and it's going to cause it to slip with us leaving in second. Don't want to start leaving in first, because it seems most 400s that use first gear, at least the stock style gear sets, have more problems. But so anyways, I'm going to finish cleaning some things up and try to see what else I can get done on this Saturday. As I've heard me complain about how hard it is to work on the car now, one thing that'll make it a little bit easier is the current piece of metal the belly pan bolts to up in here is just difficult to work around. The diaper made it that much worse, the trans diaper blanket. So I'm actually going to remove most of that. And what I'm going to do is I made these pieces right here, 1/2 aluminum, 1/2 mild steel. A little bit bigger flange on the aluminum piece, so I can actually remove more if necessary, since they were almost even, but I didn't want to draw two separate pieces up over, what was that, 1/8 inch tops. And also I want to keep a little more meat there on the aluminum side. But the plan is to basically get up in here and weld these pieces in like that, and that will give me something else to bolt to instead. It's easier to access and still pretty strong because it'll go over a large area. Sorry for the terrible camera angle, but I'm going to do that on both sides, more towards the back, and then I will proceed to removing some of that stuff up there. Quick update, got the mild steel piece welded on and tacked on the aluminum side of it. Since that's against the diaper there, obviously I don't want to weld that fully and then mill a hole in the diaper. But other side's good too. I just got to drop this belly pan again and get that fully welded. So got these brackets welded on here, and I tore out some of the metal that was in the way, trimmed some more on this other side just to give us a little clearance on the diaper. Now I'm going to get this thing bolted in place. Alright, final product. Turned out pretty good. Now it mounts with, before it was basically 8 bolts, we've got 2 in the mid plate and then 6, 3 on each side of this. Now it mounts with 4 bolts in the back and 2 in the front, 6 total. And also I cleared some stuff out of the way to make it not as dangerous to get the hand up in there and as hard. Pretty excited I had time to do that, but I still don't want to actually have to work on it. So guys, it's Tuesday night. Just checking over some stuff on the car. Had to adjust the diaper a little bit. I forgot if I get the trans diaper too tight, it will bind up the shifter cable. So I got that right, and I thought I would check extension and drive shaft clearance. Definitely noticed the other day that the drive shaft was allowing the suspension to sag further, and actually when the car was in the air, the rear wheels were touching the fender. So I was like, well, let me just check this on the ground. What I did, is I jacked up here at the where the weight mounts to, so that way the shocks can actually extend. Obviously you can't see me like this, jacking the rear end up. And what I noticed was, if we look back in there, I'm trying to get this light for you. You can see the drive shaft in the tunnel there, and it can go a little more right now, but it will bottom out eventually, and it'll well, not bottom out, but it'll hit the lower side of the tunnel. Let me jack it up some. Let's set this down. So you can see with a little bit more pressure there, we're basically touching down there. If you do that with any drive shaft, is bad, but a carbon drive shaft is going to explode, and that's a lot of money down the drain. So what I will do Saturday when I have more time is remove the underside stuff there, and I'll actually cut those tabs off and lower that enclosure some, and that'll should give us all the clearance we need. definitely glad I ran into that now, opposed to the first pass on the track, because it would have been an expensive mistake. So the other drive shaft, it was a little bit longer because I could only shorten it so much when I shortened it, because of where the current weight was. I was trying to avoid, getting a rebalance. Unfortunately, it wasn't an option, the time frame that we had. What it was doing though is, since it was bottoming out in the transmission, it was actually the inside of the yoke was bottoming out on the output shaft, and basically the suspension, that's all it could do. So who knows, actually, if the car extends more, it could help with the wheeling as well. So we'll see, a little bit more work, but one of those things is better to find now than going down the track, making a pass, and having all that money go to waste. So here we are, guys. It's Saturday morning. Let me kind of show you where I'm at with this thing. Took off the bottom section of the floor. My initial idea was to make this shorter right here, but as you can tell, those bars are limiting that, and I forgot that. So my next idea is to pull the drive shaft back out and actually cut this section here, and assuming the clearance is there, I will just basically extend this piece to where it comes down to here, assuming we got enough clearance inside the tube right there. So I'm going to remove it, put it back together, and then check clearance, and then hopefully it'll clear, and then we can get that piece made. Alright guys, as you can tell, I got my initial cut made. I'm going to put this thing back in the car and check clearance with the suspension extended. With the shorter drive shaft, it's actually a little bit easier to get the drive shaft out of it now. I still need to draw the suspension to get it out, unless I pull it through here, which normally there'll be a the closure there, but I set it back in there for now. But that's what I got to do. So let's cross our fingers that once I let the suspension sag, it doesn't touch down in here. If so, I'm going to have to get a bit more aggressive with my cutting and probably go into the tube, and at that point I probably have to kind of plate it up to make it a little better. So you can tell we got some more extension out of it, and we're still touching down, so I'm going to do some more clearancing. Alright, update. As you can tell, we have plenty of clearance now. I did elongate the tube, but we also had to actually move the coilover mount down a hole because it was just too high, and basically the drive shaft was not going to. We were going to have to cut the whole damn bottom out to make the drive shaft clear. So we did that. We'll have to probably adjust that car's ride height a little bit. We checked on the ground earlier, it wasn't too bad, but otherwise, it fits now. Now we just got to kind of just square the car up again, probably do that Tuesday, and just to make sure it's ready for the race next Saturday at Shadyside. So it's Thursday night, and we have the race Saturday. The weather's looking good. I'm getting excited. It's been almost a month since I've got to make a hit in this thing. So, of course, you can imagine the anticipation here. What I'm doing tonight is, so from the get-go, I feel like this fuel pump, it's one we've had for a while, has been acting up. And the wreck, the pulley got damaged. And although this pump has worked and we've got fuel, it seems like it's harder to prime, and it's never been like this before. And we've done them on other vehicles as well, and never had this kind of problem. So I hit up Robert Eddy at AEI CNC. He makes the awesome mechanical pump kit for the LS engines, and I got a new Enderley 110 pump. And when I get this other one off, I will compare them. This shouldn't be too bad of a job. I'm going to pump the fuel out of the cell, and you can see how the pump itself runs off that cog drive, off this ATI balancer. And it says only two 13 millimeters holding it on, or half inch, whatever, and then two 12 AN fittings. So let me do that. Let me get that off, and then let's compare this this older style 110 pump to the newer one. So check it out. As you can tell, on the left we have the new one, and the right is our older one. Some key differences really would be this one's a cast body, and this one's a billet piece. What's cool too is the inlets on this are they're actually, you can adjust them to the size you want or need. This was a -12, this was a -12, but the old one here was a -8 out, whereas this one's also a -12. So I had a fitting that went from an 8 to 12 there. So now I'll just put the another fitting I bought to -12 to this guy. Which, you know, I can't say how restrictive that was or wasn't, but, you know, I just can't see it hurting. Another cool thing is, you know, like I said, this is a cast body. This is a billet body. Looks a little smoother. You know, I don't know the reason for the swap. This one we got a year ago was like this, and then we've, you know, and I can't see a bad thing about it. It looks cool, looks smoother, looks sleek. Everything else is the same as far as flow goes and the mounting points. So I will transfer this guy over to this and get my fittings in there. And if I have to, I may need to adjust it a little bit. We should do that right there. And then we'll get it on there and get some fuel back in this thing and see what we can do. Got this thing ready to go. Get the new fitting in it. Hopefully it's oriented correctly. If not, it's not too big of a deal to adjust. But let's get this thing bolted back onto the motor plate and, well, the bracket. Well, I started to do a reinstall video, but that became quite the situation. Even though the pump's the same, something is a little different as far as the bracket goes now. And I messed around with that for a while. I was able to get it on there. I think I'm going to try to do something a little better tomorrow when I have more time. Just so I can feel like the pump is a less chance of moving. I mean, I did get up on a two-step and whatnot. And let me check the belt again here. Belt still feels great, but I'm going to try to do one more thing just so I have that extra reassurance. I don't want throwing a belt at the track and, you know, everything going to crap from there. I did have to prime it the old way, but that's expected with being a new pump and to get the air out of line. Once I primed it and fired it up, the fuel pressure is a lot more stable at idle now, that's for sure. Before it had a lot of flutter to it, looked like. Set the two-step at 15 pounds. Got on the two-step, made 118 pounds of fuel pressure. Before leaving on 17 pounds, it had made 117. So it looks like we're getting a little more rising rate response. Now this probably means the tune will be a little bit richer, but that's okay because I'd like to have some extra injector to play with so I can proceed to just keep creeping up on the boost a little more comfortably. But that's where we're at. I'm going to change the oil in the morning and or tomorrow sometime before, you know, the day's over, and I will update you guys again when we're at the track. We are at Shadyside Dragway. It is Saturday, November 14th. Seems like a glare, I'm sorry. We're out here, we just went through tech and everything. Probably be another hour till we get our first shakedown. Big turnout. It's a two-day event. We're just coming for the first day, but as always, I am happy to see local races thrive. You can see they got people on the top row. You know, obviously we're on the second, which is what I prefer. And then the bottom is full too. Combination of 235 class, nitrous street class, small block boost. You know, quite a few things going on. So there's a lot of classes going on today, and which is awesome. So it should be a busy day. Hopefully we do well and we go some rounds. Maybe at least go personal best. You know, since it's been a month since we ran, I've already got the jitters again just because, you know, we made a few changes as far as drive shaft goes, which in turn made the suspension extend a little more. So now I'm, you know, hoping that it didn't jack something up. But we're going to find out. We are just now, the car's on the charger. Me over here. Start from the generator. I got the backup battery charging, picked up for a deal with Georgia. And then the car itself, John just checked the compressor, the air tanks in the back of the struts. We'll top the fuel off. I need to change plugs too. So, but that is where we're at. You know, hopefully we have some good luck today, and I will keep you guys updated. made our first hit, guys. You're like, wow, you made your first hit, and why is it dark out? It took about 5 hours. There was an oil down, and they had to do an extensive amount of work to get the right lane fixed. And it did a good job, but we spun, so I think we just were a little funky in the groove. So no big deal. We did put the suspension back to what went a 34. Tune-up is similar, more out back. So we'll see what it does on this one. I'm staying optimistic. I think we'll go down. Air's good. It's just a matter of us making everything work with the track. Made our second pass and we sucked again. The track's cold. A couple guys spun that time. Last time we were like the only one that spun, which is still, you know, not sure there. But anyways, I just took, you know, if round one's coming up, I just knocked the breath out of this thing. It may not run with the crap, but we're gonna try. Lowered pull timing on the leave, some boost, and we just gotta see what it does. Haven't got anywhere with it all day, but maybe this will be the one that goes A to B, and we'll see if we you know, get on to the next round. If not, it's cold and I'm tired, so I will probably get over it. But then again, once I lose, I'll actually be annoyed by it, so hopefully I'll win. But that's all we can do. We're gonna give it a shot and just go from there. Wanted to recap with you guys about Saturday. So first pass, we spun. I don't know why really. I don't think we should have, and this camera is cold and it's fogging up. I don't know why we spun. We really shouldn't have, but I think we might have been a little funny in the groove. And anyways, you know, it spun. Whatever. Second pass, turned it down a little bit. Loosened the front up a whole lot. You know, looser. Actually, we had the suspension back to what went a 34 on a greasy track in Georgia. And camera's fogging again. Sorry guys, this is camera was in my truck and it's cold out there. And now it's fogging. But anyways, well, it worked pretty good there, and it once again didn't do anything. Third pass was round one. You know, the second pass was already at night. Sun went down. Somebody had threw a rod earlier, and it's been a couple hours having to clean the track really good. Well, that got them behind. So third round, we had a you know, turbo Fox body. Don't know anything about it. Guy wasn't very talkative, which is fine. And I pulled a bunch of power out of it, hoping it would do something, and it didn't even try to move. So, you know, I got to it again and knocked it off again and rolled down the track a little bit and got into it again, and it broke free again, probably at the 330 or so, so I just got out of it. But, oh well, it sucked, but, you know, car's still one piece. I think my throttle body's possibly bent a little worse. I'm about to take the pipe off of it, see if I can figure it out. But, you know, it wasn't an ideal day, but car's in one piece. Hoping to go to the track again this weekend, probably the last outing of the year. So going to just kind of check things over and make sure she's ready. I feel like we were just fighting some conditions this week. And we'll see, and if not, maybe we'll go into the winter thinking we suck. But anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hopefully the next video is better.